We're here today at the southeast corner of Boston and Arizona Avenue, and behind me we have one of our historic buildings in downtown, and you can see the hand-painted sign that was uncovered during the renovation for the Coach and Willie's business that's here today. This is the type of hand-painted advertising that they used to do. This was very common back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Advertising companies would go out and they would hire these guys called wall dogs, and they were artists with the technical skills to get out there and do these advertising signs on the buildings. The wall dogs had to be a technical artist. Back here in Chandler, back in the teens and the 20s, 30s, 40s, a lot of the businesses that were downtown had these hand-painted signs all over them. Eventually, business owners started moving toward more three-dimensional signs. Those would be made of metal or plastic. Eventually, they started using electricity and neon in those signs. The Arrow Pharmacy is a good example of that. That started with hand-painted signs on the wall and then eventually went to three-dimensional signage. Another example of that is at the Bash's store. Their first grocery store was in 1932 in an area called Goodyear, which is now Ocotillo. And that old adobe building had a Bash's name painted right on the side of it. It still exists today, but it's actually been covered up by all the additions that they did to the building, but it's kind of neat. It's that piece of history that's still preserved within the Bash's corporate headquarters office, and it's kind of cool to see that. All of those were designed by artists of different types, so it's that commercial art that we don't really think about a lot, but is interesting and is an example of something that you can see right off the street in Chandler. That concludes this episode's Centennial Countdown story. We look forward to seeing you come out and play in 2012 at the many events and activities as we celebrate Chandler's 100th birthday.